Hi there. Today I want to show you something about making smoother chord transitions. In the beginning, when you're first learning to play, for the most part, you're really focusing on your chording hand because you want to make the shapes and you want to make it sound right and you want to make it clean and all this kind of stuff. So you're not really focusing on coordinating these two hands, the strumming, for instance, if you're strumming, and the chording hand. So what happens quite often is when you're making a chord change, you'll stop and then make the chord change and start playing again. And of course that makes sense in the beginning when you're first making changes, and eventually this hand will catch up a little better, but there's a way to expedite that. There's a way to make that happen sooner in your playing. When I get beginner students, the first thing we do is we take a really simple strum. We don't try to make it too complicated because for the most part it's hard to think about doing everything at once. So even if you strum something more complicated or complex, slow it down and make it something really simple, like just a down-up motion, so that your strum pattern is just 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. And what I'll do is I'll get my students to strum maybe 8 times, so 2 measures on the one chord, and then I'll get them to switch to the second chord. But I'll do that by telling them to continue their strumming. In other words, don't pause this hand, keep it going. So at first, when you do that, of course you're fumbling with the chord and it doesn't sound very good. So it's something you sort of have to get used to. Just as you're learning to make smoother transitions, you want to get used to the fact that it's not going to be perfect right away. That's hard. So I'll show you what we're going to do. So we start strumming. I'll count us in 1, 2, 3, 4. And here's a D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then, even though you're just kind of still trying to find the A and fumble around, just keep this hand in motion. The temptation will be to pause this hand completely because it's almost like your brain turns this hand off while it's fumbling for this one. So you might really have trouble coordinating your hands at first, but if you stick with it, eventually this hand will just become a little bit more automatic because all it's doing is a down, up thing, right? And then this will just get a little faster and a little faster over time. And what you need to do is to remember that most of the time, even as you're learning chords down the road, the same thing can be applied. So even if you've been playing for a while and you come up against a chord that you don't know very well or is hard to get to, work on it the same way. So take the chord before it and practice going back and forth, just the way I explain now. And so even when you're a little bit more advanced, you can use the same trick to make that chord transition a little smoother.